Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Alright, I'm the brother Yawasab.
This is Brother Rayab. Shalom.
This is the brother Anah. Alright, and today we're going to do a class on the correct understanding of the war in heaven. Okay, because this has been butchered by the religions of the world. So we're going to show you in the scriptures exactly what that means. We're going to break down about half of Revelation, the 12th chapter, verses 1 through 11, so you get the true understanding of that. What the beast system is and all these different things. Pretty much foundational teachings that you're going to need to understand prophecy. Okay, so as always, before we get started, okay, we're going to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. All right, and double honors to the head apostle / elder bishops of the great millstone, who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of what people hear or whether they forbear. All right, so once again, as I said, we're going to break down Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 through 11. All right, so pretty much you have to understand this concept of the war in heaven. All right, it comes from Christianity, Roman Catholicism, and the ideal comes from a lack of understanding of Revelation, the 12th chapter. All right, so that's what we're going to go into. If you could, brother, you could read off the blue letter.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have you go into certain words.
Okay, good.
All right, so I'm going to read Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. All right, and it reads, it says, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her, let me see, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars." Okay, now this woman that it's talking about is actually going into the daughter of Zion. All right, this is a metaphorical for the children of Israel. It's not talking about Mary. Okay, because a lot of times in the Catholic Church they'll tell you that Mary is this verse is talking about Mary, but the clue here is the crown on her head with 12 stars, because there's 12 tribes of Israel. All right, if you could, brother Anah, get me Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 2. Okay, the Lord, he said that I liken the daughter of Zion to a beautiful and comely woman. All right, so that daughter of Zion who is speaking of, this is the bride of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, the wife. Okay, that was put away and divorced because of disobedience. So let me know when you got that scripture.
Yeah, can I land back on something real quick?
Yep.
And the where it mentions the sun and the moon, right? The sun and the moon is symbolic of wisdom and understanding, because they're lights. All right, and that main light is wisdom, knowledge, understanding, otherwise known as the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? You know, which you can read about Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verses 5 to 6, Wisdom of Solomon 7, verses 24 to 28, and so forth.
All right, and then also another precept on that. Like you said, the sun and the moon represent knowledge and understanding. It tells you in Ecclesiastes 8 and 1 that wisdom causes that man's face to shine.
Right.
Okay, so it's like the sun is shining on you. All right, so that's what that represents. But it's talking about the daughter of Zion, not the mother Mary.
Okay.
So go ahead and bring out that Jeremiah. Oh, you ain't got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Jeremiah 6 and 2.
I got you.
Go.
Yeah, this is Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 2, and it reads, "I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman."
Right, so that's the woman that's spoken of here in Revelation 12 and 1. All right, and then I'm gonna get verse 2, Revelation 12 and 2. It says, "And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, pained to be delivered." Okay, now the daughter of Zion represents the children of Israel. All right, and that pain is them pretty much being in the lowest state, catching hell here, in Babylon the Great, and then also even going back to the Greeks and the Romans. All right, and right now we're in America, Babylon the Great, which is the second leg of the Roman Empire. Okay, and we're awaiting the birth. All right, and the birth represents deliverance into the kingdom of heaven. Okay, because when a woman is in travail, when she's having those birth pains, all right, when a woman's having those birth pains, you got to suffer. But then what happens once the baby come out is peace, is joy, all these different things. If I could have you, brother Anah, get me Micah chapter 4, and then brother Rayab, you can get me John 16. Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
Micah chapter 4.
Okay, read me verses 6 through 10. This is going to go into the birth pains that the daughter of Zion is feeling.
And real quick, can I get this quick precept?
Yep.
It's Ezekiel going into the woman, or going to the understanding of the woman. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36. I'm sorry, verse 17. All right, Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 17. It says, Son of man, when the house of Yasharallah Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way, and by their doings their way was before me as the uncleanliness of a removed woman. You see that? So, because the Lord gave us that spiritual bill of divorcement by having it dispersed across the four corners, all right, out of our land, like it says in 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter, for committing spiritual fornication, which is idolatry, worshiping other gods, which our people still do now, all right? So this is Ezekiel 36 and 18. It says, Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for the idols, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it. All right, so we further polluted that land, okay, with the blood of our people, by offering our people to these gods like Baal, Molech, which required human sacrifices.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's wicked. So verse 19. Here's the last one here, verse 19. It says, And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries, according to their way. Okay, it says according to their way and according to their doings, I judged them.
All right.
You see?
And like the first verse you read, I'm talking about the daughter of Zion. Okay, it's not talking about a literal woman as representative of the children of Israel. Okay, bring out that Micah chapter 6, and we started Micah chapter 4. Wait, hang on.
Micah 6 and 4.
No, Micah chapter 4 and verses 6 through 10.
You want to say
Okay.
Yeah, you can go here. You got yours already?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Micah 4, starting at verse 6.
Okay. Micah 4 and 6. In that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that exalteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted.
Right, and who is that? Once again, that's the daughter of Zion. This woman that appears in Revelation 12 and 1 with the crown with 12 stars. It's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, he says, I'm going to gather out her that was driven out. Keep reading. In verse 7.
Mm-hmm. And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast off, far off, a strong nation.
Right, I'm going to make her a remnant, and her that was cast off a strong nation. This is the elect, which is what you're seeing right now. The elect is being gathered together to become a strong nation and inherit the kingdom. All right, keep reading.
And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth, even forever.
All right, yeah, give verse 9.
Verse 9. Now why dost thou cry out aloud? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counselors perished? For pains have taken thee as a woman in travail.
Stop right there. It says, pains have taken thee as a woman in travail. All right, this is what we're reading about right here, Revelation 12 and 2. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Okay, get that next verse.
Mm-hmm. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion.
Right, so that's what it's talking about, yep.
Mm-hmm. Like a woman in travail, for now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon.
Right, and that should go to Babylon, and then what?
Mm-hmm. And there shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies.
Right, okay, so that's that deliverance that it's talking about in 12 and 2. It just said it. It said you're going to be in pain as a woman that travaileth. You're going to go into Babylon, all right, which is not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about the daughter of Babylon, America. And there thou shalt be delivered. That's that baby being delivered, proverbially. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Okay, you got that? You got that, John?
16.
Yep, John chapter 16, verse 20 and 22.
This is St. John, chapter 16, verse 20. It says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice, and ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. Now, that reminds me of that precept that says, you should not be as joyous as other people, roughly paraphrasing.
Right.
Why? Because like it says in Daniel, the 9th chapter, we all went into captivity, man. We all suffered the greatest evil under the sun, which is captivity and other similar manners of oppression, affliction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Including idolatry. And that's why down there in Saudi Arabia, there's some jakes that got put to death for worshiping the black stone. All right, They was like through that
Oh,
that
yeah.
pilgrimage.
Yeah, the
God,
method.
you know, the elder Monatizakwa did a lesson on that. You know, because the Heavenly Father, Yahweh is displeased with the condition that our people are in right now, and that's why Yahushua wept. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the whole reason they were cast out, because of idol worship. Okay, going back to the curses of Deuteronomy 28th chapter. If you disobey, you worship other gods, what's going to happen to you? He said, I will lead you into captivity. I'll send an enemy nation against you, which is what we're going to read about in Revelation 12:3. Okay, the dragon, the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, which we're going to break all that down. But that's what it's talking about. It's talking about a nation. It's not talking about an actual dragon. All right. So is there more meat on that?
This is St. John 16:21. It says, a woman, when she is in travail, hath sorrow, because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world.
Yep, and that's exactly what the daughter of Zion, the children of Israel, are going through right now. All right, the children of Israel in travail, they're in pain, waiting to be delivered, waiting for that baby to come out, and that baby represents deliverance into the kingdom. All right, once the baby comes out, the pain is forgotten. All you're thinking about is the blessing that you've now received. So it's all symbolic here. Okay, but it's all talking about the same event. You know, the children of Israel in Babylon the Great, as we just read in Micah the 4th chapter. All right, in that pain, waiting to be delivered. Okay. Is there more meat on that?
Verse 22 says, and ye now therefore have sorrow, but I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no man taketh from you.
Yep, and that he said, I will see you again. That's when Yahushua is going to come back the second time as an angelic force with the thousands of angels ready to deliver his elect, and that's going to be that proverbial birth. That's when the elect is going to be beamed up. They're going to receive incorruptible bodies and inherit the kingdom. Okay, Lord's will be that number. I'm going to move on to verse 3 now.
Line back on what the brother was saying. That's why Revelation 21:2 speaks about New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. All right, so under that second holy covenant, we're going to be revitalized in Yahweh by Shem Shai, and we're all going to be in the kingdom. We're all going to be in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. And perfected, because you go to that word new in the Greek, is krinos, which means refreshed. All right, perfected. So we're going to be refreshed. All our impurities are going to be wiped out, as it tells you in 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter. At the corruptible, the corruptible shall take off and put on the incorruptible. All right. But I'm going to move on. We're going to get into that beast now in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 3. So I'll read the verse, and it says, okay, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. Okay, now this great red dragon represents the 4th beast that is spoken of in Daniel chapter 7. So if one of you brothers could get Daniel 7 real quick.
7:3.
Yep, Daniel 7:3, that's right. Yep. So once you let me know when you got it, I'll reread that verse again. Okay, while you're getting that, I'm gonna read the whole thing over again. Revelation 12 and 1. On back it says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. It's the daughter of Zion. And she being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. That's the children of Israel waiting to be delivered from Babylon the Great. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. Now go ahead and read Daniel 7 and 3.
Go ahead, because my phone is slow.
Okay.
I'm not getting a good connection back here for some reason.
Okay, I got it, Doctor.
That's what's going on.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 3. It says, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another.
Okay, and I just want to get when it says sea, it's not talking about the actual ocean. This is Revelation 17 and 15. It tells you what the sea is. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So these 4 great beasts, meaning it's coming from the people of the world. Okay, and the 4 great beasts, I'm going to tell you what they are. The first beast was the Babylonian Empire. All right, where you had King Daniel. He went into the lion's den. You had Babylonians and the Assyrians, the Persians and the Medes. The 3rd was the Greeks, and then the 4th is the Roman Empire, which we're in the 2nd leg of that Roman Empire right now. Okay, now going back to Revelation, the 12th chapter. All right, if you could, brother, give me Daniel 7 and 17. It's going to tell you about that 4th beast.
I got Daniel 7:17.
Okay, go ahead and bring it up.
Okay. Daniel 7:17. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall rise out of the earth.
Right, right. So these great beasts they're not literal, it's not a literal dragon. Okay, it's talking about 4 kingdoms that will arise out of the earth, which I just told you what they were. Babylonians and Assyrians, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks under a man named Alexander the Great. He was the one that brought the Edomites into power. And then the fourth was the Roman Empire, which consumed the Greek Empire. Okay. Now it says somebody give me verse 9, give me 19 now. Daniel 7:19.
Daniel 7:19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
Right, so this is that fourth beast, the final kingdom on the earth, the Roman Empire, diverse from all the others because back then the Roman Empire took over the whole earth, and today the Roman Empire is taking over the whole earth. All right, this is the second leg of it. We're going to read about it a little bit in Revelation chapter 17, and we'll read verses 9 through 11. It says, "And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth." Okay, the 7 heads, it represents the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the British, Germania Major and Germania Minor. These are the seven heads or kingdoms of the Roman Empire. All right, if you look at an old map of the Roman Empire, you can see that all this area was taken over. All right, now it says that the woman sitteth on. It tells you the woman is the great whore. All right, the beast that rose up out of the 7. So out of all those empires, the European power structure, America was that great whore that rose up out of the European power structures. America is like the baby of the conglomeration of the Roman Empire. All right. Continuing on, it says, "And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, okay, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. When he cometh, he must continue a short space." So out of these 7 kings, which I just told you who they are, the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the British, Germania Major, and Germania Minor, okay? Out of these 7 kings, it says 5 are fallen, okay? The Greeks fell to the Romans, all right? So the 5 that fell, you had the Greeks, the Spanish, the French, Germania Major, Germania Minor, because the Roman Empire took over all of those lands. And Great Britain, or the British Empire, hadn't came into existence yet. That came into existence a little bit later on. That's the reason why it says, and of the 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. Okay, so the Roman Empire was already existed, but the Britain Empire did not exist yet. All right, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Why? Because the British Empire had power for a short period of time until what? Until America came into existence and pretty much became the new world superpower. So that's what that's going into. All right, verse 11, Revelation 17 and 11, it says, "And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition." Okay, so you have the seven kingdoms, all right, and then the one that is yet to come is the 8th. That's talking about America, and he goes into perdition, meaning destruction. Why? Because America is slotted for nuclear destruction according to the prophecies. All right, Gog and Magog and the nations of the east are going to rise up against Babylon the Great and shoot missiles upon it. So its perdition, its destruction is already spoken of. It's already written of. So that's what that's talking about. But that is the basis of the 4th beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, and then the 10 horns represent vassal states. All right, they don't have their own empires. All right, and essentially that is the EU. If you look up the Western European Union, you'll see that it started off with 10 nations. Okay, but they didn't have their own empires like the 7 heads did. They were just pretty much vassal states that gave power and more power into the beast. All right, into the European power structure. So that's what that's going into. So I just had to break that down so you understand exactly what the beast is. It's not talking about a literal beast. We just read it. It's talking about kingdoms that will rule on the earth. Okay. So continuing on. All right. It says, let's see. Let's go to verse 4. So now we understand what the beast is. Revelation 12:4. All right. And it reads. It says, "And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven." Okay. The 3rd part of the stars of heaven, because why? There's 12 tribes of Israel, and at that time, the northern kingdom was already here in the Americas, according to 2 Ezra 13th chapter. But the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they were in the Roman Empire. All right, that was when Yahushua was crucified, all these things. So it says, and the tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. That's talking about the 3 tribes that were left over there. All right. It says, and the tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth, meaning he stumped them out, beat them down, brought them very low. Okay. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. You could give me Matthew chapter 2, brother, because this is gonna talk about that. All right, the dragon, which is the Roman Empire, all right, under King Herod, Herod, all right, he was an Edomite, and he was pretty much set up to rule over the Jews at that time. The Jews just means the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. He was set up to rule over them, all right, instead of the Roman Empire. Okay. Yeah, give me Matthew 2, and let me see. Slaki, bear with me. Okay, just you can read the part where it talks about Herod seeking to devour the child. You can really probably start from the top.
Okay, okay. This is in Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. It says, Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born king of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. Verse 3, When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Why? Because he knew that his empire was going to be compromised.
Right, because he was, he was the king, so that he's over here like, oh, a new king is coming around. So he's trying to look forward so he can, do what he's gonna do. We're gonna be there.
St. Matthew 2 and 4 says, And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Hamashiach should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. And that's the same governor spoke about in Isaiah 9, around the 7th verse.
Right. Come on, exactly.
Right.
A government shall be on his shoulders, for unto us a child is born.
St. Matthew 2 and 7 says, Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. So he's being deceptive. Right? He was acting like he wanted to worship him just to further entice them to reveal Yahushua's location so he could slay him. Right. Verse 9, it says, When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were coming to the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold, and frankincense, and myrrh. And being warned of the Most High God, Yahweh, in a dream, that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. Verse 13, here's the point. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
Right. And so, with that being said, let me read this verse of Revelation again. Okay, Revelation 12 and 4. I'm gonna read that just the second half of it. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So the dragon's talking about the Roman Empire, and we just read that King Herod, he deceitfully tried to find out the location of where Yahushua was, all right, so that he could slay him, so he could kill him. That's what this is going into. That's a key clue in revealing who the dragon is, because we just read that the beast or the dragon is a kingdom that's going to rule on the earth. So I'm talking about, once again, an actual dragon. Okay, it's talking about a kingdom. And King Herod, all right, he was the one that was set up to rule over the Jews, all right, during that time, instead of the Roman Empire, all right, he was looking to try to kill Yahushua as soon as he was born, because he was threatened. So that's what this is talking about. All right, is there more meat on that?
That was it.
We'll move on to the next verse. Okay, so now we understand that. All right, we'll read I'll read Revelation 12 and 1 and go back down. Okay, Revelation 12 and 1. And it appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head and a crown of 12 stars, the daughter of Zion, the 12 tribes of Israel. And she, being with child, cried in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. All right. Once again, this is the Western power structure. All right. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast into the earth. All right. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay. That's talking about Yahushua. And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up onto the Most High and to his throne. Okay, now I'm gonna get some precepts on that. Give me, if you could, brother, you got something?
No.
Okay, one of you brothers give me Psalms chapter 2. Okay, Psalms chapter 2, and then I'll get Revelation 11 and 15. So the child that was born was prophesied to rule over all the earth. All right, and that's exactly what's going to happen when he returns. Okay, that's why they want to kill him. Right? They didn't realize this, but it's a spiritual thing. Okay, they can't stop the prophecies. This is Revelation 11 and 15. And the 7th angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his anointed, and he shall reign forever and ever. So that's going to be the end result of Yahushua coming. Now, you got the Psalms 2nd chapter? Okay, go ahead and read me Psalms chapter 2, verses 7 through 9. Okay, because we just read, before you get that, let me read this once again. All right, Revelation chapter 12 and Revelation chapter 12 and verse 5. And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. All right, and her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. So that's a key important part to remember, the rod of iron. Read Psalm chapter 2, verses 7 through 9. This is prophesied of in the Old Testament.
Psalms chapter 2, in the 7th verse. And I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee.
Yep.
And I will declare, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance,
Right.
and the uttermost part of the earth for thy possession.
Now he said, I should give you the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost part of the earth for thy possession. And what is he going to do? Verse 9.
Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
Right. So we just read the same thing. That child that was to be born is to rule a nation with a rod of iron. This was prophesied of in Psalms, the 2nd chapter. All right, it all goes back together. Now I'm going to go back to Revelation and read that verse again. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 5. And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. Okay, so now we're going to read about that in Acts, the 1st chapter, and you could get verses 6 to 11. So
Okay, Con. This is Acts chapter 1, starting in verse 6. It says, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, out of wine, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and all Judea and all Salakia and in Samaria and into the uttermost part of the earth. Right, and that power is the Holy Spirit. And we have that power now on a minute scale, which is how we were able to, come into this to this awakening as Hebrew Israelites. The book of Remembrance spoke about in Malachi the 3rd chapter. Right? And in these last days during Jacob's trouble, the Lord is going to further manifest this power that we already have, from our members. We're going to be able to manipulate the elements and whatnot. And that's what that series, Supercell on Netflix is about. Jake is, performing miracles, through spiritual power. All right, because the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is being used as his battle axe. All right, to unleash upon the wicked in these last days. All right. Acts 1:9 it says, and when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and the cloud received him out of their sight. Like it says in Revelation 1, around the seventh verse, or somewhere around there where it speaks about how the Lord is going to come back in the cloud, talking about the chariot, all right? Whom this devil Esau Edom is deceitfully declassified as a so-called UFO or UAP, all right? So that's that vehicle that the Messiah, Hamashiach Hashai, is going to descend back into this realm, all right, to make war with the dragon, okay, which is Esau Edom and his angels, his meaning messengers, which includes his six branches of his military and so forth.
Right.
All right.
Yep. Can I use your phone, brother?
Yeah.
I just need to Google something.
I think I'll keep reading. Verse 10, Acts 1 and 10, it says, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which are the angels. Verse 11, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. You see that? Just like our forefathers Enoch and Elijah got translated, it's the same way Yahushua got translated into the heavens, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Yahushua is going, and the angels are telling the men of Galilee the same way. Well, the angels were telling the men of Galilee, why are you marveling at your Messiah ascending into the heavens ascending rather into the heavens when he can descend back the same way? Okay, I mean he's gonna come back in the fathership of chariot. Okay, that cloud that is spoken about here. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Come.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yep, so we just read that he ascended up into heaven, all right, to his throne. This is what it says here in Revelation 12 and 5. Now we're going to get the next verse, Revelation 12 and 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, that they would feed her there 1,260 days. Okay, now I'm going to break down what that means. The wilderness, the daughter of Zion, all right, meaning the southern kingdom fled into, was what's known of as Africa today, all right, because that is where they would flee for refuge after the siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD. All right, just like Joseph, all right, was told to flee into Egypt. Also because the southern kingdom looks similar to the Hamitic nations, the quote-unquote African nations, so we blend in. All right, many eventually fled to what's known of as West Africa, which we confirmed with historical documents such as the Negro Land map, which I've actually got pulled up. All right, so when the children of Zion, when they fled out, they went into what's known of as West Africa today. And I'm gonna prove that. So this is actually right here. You can't see it. I'm gonna put the link in the description. All right, but this is from the Library of Congress.gov. This is an official government document. All right, and I'll show you brothers right quick. So it's a map of this. It's a slave map.
Real quick.
Yep, come. It's a slave map. All right, of where the slavers, when they came to grab the children of Israel.
Right.
All right, it shows you right here. Right, this is where most of the
Slave
slaves are
coast.
grabbed from. But look what it says:
Judah.
Kingdom of Judah, or we the slave coast.
Uh,
Okay,
Right.
so this is an official document from the Library of Congress.gov. All right, and this is the map that they used when they were seeking out slaves off the coast of West Africa. So where most of the slaves came from is down here, modern day Nigeria and Benin. And you can read, it says Kingdom of Judah, or we the slave coast. And this is an accurate historical document from the Library of Congress.gov. So there's plenty of historical evidence, if you do the research, that shows that the so-called Negroes that were brought over here in slavery are the Southern Kingdom, the tribe of Judah, Benjamin and Levi, and the so-called Latinos and Native American Indians are the Northern Kingdom. All right, starting off with
Jacob.
Well,
Reuben.
yeah, starting with Reuben all the way down to Issachar, the so-called Mexican. I wish I would have brought that chart. We should have brought it. So we got a chart that lists everything off.
Yeah.
Oh, he saw it. He saw it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to elaborate on what the brother was saying about the history of Negro land and whatnot, in correlation with this book, the information in this book called From Babylon to Timbuktu, a history of ancient quote-unquote black races, including the black Hebrews, quote-unquote. All right, and we know black is a byword mentioned in Deuteronomy 28 and 37, so we're not black. This brother's wool is black, my beard is black, but we're actually melanated. These brothers here are brown, or different shades of brown. Right? We refer to read about that in Amos 9 and 7, where the Lord said, the Lord compared the children of Israel to the Ethiopians, okay? Because the Ethiopians are Hamites, which are another dark-skinned nation, all right? And we're dark-skinned as well. And this is why Yahushua was taken into so-called Africa to blend in with them Hamites over there when Herod tried to kill him.
Right.
But nonetheless, this book here, okay, get it on camera. I'm sure Akim, a lot of Akim already know about it. But for the newcomers, yeah, this book from Babylon and Timbuktu further goes into the information the brother brought out on how we ended up, the Southern Kingdom predominantly wound up in Africa, Northwest Africa to be exact, because in St. Luke 21, Yahushua commanded us to flee to the mountains, which are the Atlas Mountains in Northwest Africa, around the Saharan Desert, around Morocco, so forth, Algeria, and that's where the trans-Saharan slave trade took place. So it's not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? So,
And,
it looks like
and if I may add, that's where the Moors, people don't know, but the Moors conquered Spain, and they came out of that. They came out of that area. They conquered what's known as the Iberian Peninsula, and they were coming out of that area of West Africa. All right, so that's just a little history lesson right there. But this is prophesied of the children of Israel that were over there in West Africa. We just showed the historical documents. It's also prophesied of in Joel the 3rd chapter. So I'm gonna get that right quick. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 6. It says, "The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians." And who are the Grecians? Okay, that's the so-called Europeans. "That ye might remove them far from their border." Okay, so we were taken from that area, the kingdom of Judah, the slave coasts over what's modern day Nigeria and Benin. All right, and we were sold by the Hamite nation because they knew we were different. We're both dark people, but completely different customs, different gods, different language. So they sold us to the Europeans, okay? And that's prophesied of here in Joel 3 and 6. But continuing on, let's go back to Revelation 12 chapter. I'm going to read that verse again. Revelation 12 and 6. "And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her 1,260 days." Okay, now if you do the math on that, all right, it says that 1,203 score is 1260, which you divide that by 30, it equals 42 months. Okay, 42 months, which equals 3.5 years. This is prophetic because the first slaves touched down 1619. So 350 years later, 3.5 years, that's when Abba Bivens came on the scene. From 1619 to 1969, roughly, is when Abba Bivens came on the scene. All right, and he started to wake the children of Israel up. Okay, and that's spoken of in Malachi, the 4th chapter. It said that Elijah will be returned before that great day. The Bible speaks of reincarnation over and over. So, Abba Bivens, we believe him to be that reincarnation of Elijah. All right, because that time frame lines up perfectly. 1619 and 1969. That's your 350, 3.5 years right there. All right, but also on top of that, what else was I gonna get? Oh, it's prophesied of in Jeremiah the 50th chapter, verse 33. All right, that the children of Judah and the children of Israel, the southern and northern kingdom, will be oppressed together. So we had to come here to be oppressed together and eventually be delivered together. All right, because it's told of in Ezekiel 37 that the Lord is going to make the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom one once again. Okay, so that place where He prepared for us, He set us up over there in West Africa specifically for the movie script to go, so that we be captured, we be sold to slavery, brought over here to the Americas, and we could be joined together again with the northern kingdom in the latter days.
That's right.
Okay, so continuing on, all right, that's what that's going into. Here's the part of the war in heaven. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7. "And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels." Somebody give me Daniel chapter 12. Okay, now we just proved that the woman is talking about the children of Israel, all right, and that the dragon is talking about the Roman Empire. Okay. Okay. Yep. So the war in heaven. First, you must understand that heaven and hell are conditions played out on earth. All right. And let me get this right quick. Okay. This is Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 1. Okay. Heaven and hell are conditions that are played out on earth. And I got a few scriptures to prove that. Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, "How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in His anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not His footstool in the day of His anger." So we see here the daughter of Zion was cast down from heaven to the earth, but it's not, once again, this is a conditions played out on earth. Okay, it wasn't the daughter of Zion, the children of Israel were not literally cast out of heaven, that physical heavens, they were cast out of their rulership. All right, because you read Deuteronomy 28th chapter, "If you obey me, you will be a ruler over the nations. If you disobey me, you will be cursed." So that's what this is going into, Lamentations 2 and 1. But I just had to establish that, all right? And then also, it tells you that in Matthew 11:23. But go ahead and get that Daniel 12 verse 1.
I got a quick precept.
Yep.
Going into the brother mentioned about hell, having the healthy conditions on earth to prove that. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 24. It says, "The way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath." And that's the hell that we're in, all right? The conditions that were played out on earth of our of the curses that the Lord Yahweh, the Heavenly Father Yahweh bestowed upon us for deliberately, blatantly transgressing kind,
Right.
transgressing law, statutes, commandments. So this is our hell. That's why 2 Peter the 3rd chapter goes into Esau, Edom's heaven, which is his condition of rulership, being destroyed by the Messiah and the angels. All right.
I got another precept to back that up.
And I have Daniel 12:1.
Okay, we'll get that next. This is Psalms chapter 16 and verse 9. Actually, I'll read 8. "I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also rests in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore." So this tells you, he said, "You will not leave my soul in hell." So according to Christianity, Catholicism, hell is a place where you go underground, you're trapped there forever. That's not what the scripture's talking about. And I actually got a lesson I'm going to do on that later.
I did a lesson on it too.
Yeah, so I won't really go into it, but I don't want to get too off topic. We're going to go back to that Daniel chapter 12 and verse 7. Okay, so it tells you, so it tells you, that, it's like your Revelation 12 and 7, it tells you there's a war in heaven. Okay, what is this going into? Give me Daniel 12 and 1, either one of you.
Daniel 12:1. "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there should be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time."
Right, stop right there. So he says, "At that time shall Michael the great prince stand up for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never seen on the face of the earth." This is what Yahushua was speaking of in the time of the end, in Matthew the 24th chapter. When the disciples, they said, "When shall be the end?" All right, when shall be the end of the world? Okay, and he said, "Marvel not, for there's going to be great tribulation, wars, rumors of wars." This is the time it's talking about. "At that time shall Michael the great prince stand up for the children of thy people." Okay, all right, keep reading.
"And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that should be found written in the book."
Okay, right. So what it is the archangel Michael, and Yahushua is going to be down here too. We can get that in Revelation, the 19th chapter. All right, if you can go ahead and move on to that. Okay. Actually, you hold Daniel 12, and if you could give me Revelation 19, yeah. Because it said everyone that is written in the book of life, shall be delivered at that time. So this is talking about a future event. Okay, and this is talking about Yahushua, Michael the archangel, coming down to deliver and to protect the elect in that time period. It's not talking about a literal war in heaven. It's talking about Michael going to war with the dragon, meaning the Roman Empire, all right, and with the help of the angels to do what? To deliver the elect. Okay, this is talking about during the time of the Great Tribulation, also known as Jacob's trouble. That's what it's going into. That's that war in heaven. Okay, so it's metaphorical, all right, but not even really, because the angels will literally be down here protecting the elect. All right, and also when it says war in heaven, it's also talking about the skies. Okay, because it tells you, and you're going to get that in Revelation 19th chapter, it tells you that when Yahushua comes down, that all the nations of the earth are going to stop fighting each other to try to go to war against what they think was an alien invasion, which is really Yahushua and the angels. Okay, and it's literally going to be a war in the skies, because they're going to be, have their fighter jets trying to shoot at the quote-unquote UFOs, and it tells you what he's going to do. It says he's going to utterly wipe them out and destroy them. It says this in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, which I'll get that one. And then if you got Revelation 19, we could read about it at verse 11 through 14, and then 19 and 20. Okay?
All right. This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 11. It says, "And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war." All right.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Verse 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And those crowns are symbolic of the rulers, the rulership of the heathens that he's going to
Take
make war with.
Right, all the nations of the world.
Right.
Verse 13 says, and he was clothed with a vessel, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God. And like it says in St. John 1:14, the Yahushua is a word made manifest in the flesh.
Incarnated.
That's right.
God.
Yep.
Revelation 19:14 says, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power.
All right.
Baruch, can you get Revelation?
1.
No, it's Revelation. What is it? I'm gonna come back to me.
Okay,
Go ahead.
but
Okay.
so it says that the armies of heaven followed on white horses. It's not talking about literal horses.
Revelation 2:16.
A horse is representative of a vehicle. Back then they had buckets and chariots and all that. They didn't have cars and planes like we do. So it says a white. It's talking about the horses. It's talking about the vehicles of the angels. I'm gonna prove that. Okay, this is Revelation 1:7. It says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds." So in this verse, it's talking about horses, but here it's talking about clouds, because these are the vehicles of the angels. And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. So this is Yahushua coming with the angels and going to war with the dragon, all right, which is the Roman Empire and all the nations of the earth that are joined unto it. Okay, that whole confederacy that is spoken of in Psalms 83rd chapter, that joined up against the children of Israel, which are the Lord's people.
Yeah, that's why Revelation 16 it mentions how they're right before around Revelation 16:21 mentioning the prophesies how right before these people get destroyed, they're gonna blaspheme the Lord, because the Lord's gonna put the idea in their mind they're getting ready to be destroyed. Because like it says here, Revelation 19:15, out of his mouth goeth that sharp sword. And that's how he's gonna smite these people. What is that sharp sword? Can you get that, brother? In Revelation 2:16.
Yeah, for some reason my phone
That's okay.
ain't bringing it
Yeah,
up.
I'll
bring it up.
Getting a good connection. Here you go. It's
Come,
coming
okay.
now. Give me one.
I got it already.
Go ahead.
Come,
Go
All right,
ahead.
Revelation 2:16, it says, "Repent, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth."
And that sword of that mouth is that breath from the fathership, that tempest,
The
that
death destruction.
contrary heat.
I got that.
Come,
I got that
come,
next.
come.
Yeah. So get verse 19 and 20, and I'm gonna get the account in 2nd Esdras about the Lord coming.
Okay.
Yep.
Revelation 19 and 19. It says, and I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. All right. Verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, which is the mark of chip, and them that worshipped his image.
Right.
These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone.
Right. So this what we're reading about. This is the war in heaven, because the Yahushua is gonna come with the thousands of angels. All right, probably millions.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
God.
Really, probably millions. And then the nation, the kings of the earth, we just read, they're gonna stop fighting each other, and they're gonna turn to fight the Lord. Give me Habakkuk 3:16.
Can I line back on that real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
And just that's why in 1987, Ronald Reagan made a very infamous speech, a very well-known speech, in the 1987 United Nations resolution speech, where he suggested that in the event of a quote-unquote extraterrestrial threat, all these nations, all the armies of the nations, including the armies of the nations that are the adversaries of America, should band together and fight this quote-unquote extraterrestrial force.
And that's exactly what they're gonna try to do.
Yeah, and he was being deceived because he didn't identify who that so-called extraterrestrial force was, which is the Lord, the Messiah, Yahushua.
Right.
You see, because that alien term is another government psyop, all right, to further confuse people. Because that's why they refer to the UFOs and UAPs as declassified information. You know what I'm saying? That's why back in 1952, when Harry S. Truman was president, they tried to block out the information of the chariots swarming around the White House. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because that would have opened up another can of worms. That's why they call it declassified information in regards to the true identity of the chariots of the Lord, which they declassified deceitfully as UFOs and UAPs to make people believe that they're so-called aliens. All right, that's why they put out these movies like Independence Day and whatnot. The one with Tom Cruise, War of the Worlds. Where these chariots are zapping people. You know what I'm saying? And like it says in Zechariah 14:12, they shall. What does it say?
Their eyes shall consume away from their holes in their mouth.
God.
The tongue shall consume away in their mouth, and their flesh shall consume away off their bones while they stand upon their feet. That's going into nuclear missiles, but also the chariots. They have concentrated fire to where they're going to burn people.
Right.
Whether it's a laser or whether it's like literal fire coming out. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that second Ezra because it tells you that here. So this is the war in heaven it's talking about. When Yahushua comes with the angels, and it's going to tell you, all right, this is another account of this event. This is 2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And we read earlier, Revelation 17 and 15, that the waters represent people and kindreds and tongues and nations. Okay, so this thing that comes out of the seas means it's rising up to the people. All right, it says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So they're going to be scared as hell, man. It tells you in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, verse 2, it says that they should be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. They're going to be freaking out when they see the angels pop up. All right, it says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. Have any of you brothers, you heard that? So, have you heard of anybody flying on a mountain before?
Flying on a mountain?
Yeah. Because this ain't no mountain. It ain't no regular mountain.
Right.
Read it again.
I got a piece of it for you.
Okay. 2 Ezra 13 and 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. This is talking about the Lord. This is the big, I guess you could call it fathership or whatever vehicle he's going to come on. All right. The prophet Ezra likened it unto a mountain. All right. And there's scriptures there's like Zechariah 5 and 6 talks about mountains of brass that fly. So these are the quote unquote UFOs. These are literal vehicles that fly and they're made of metal. So this is what, we don't know exactly if they're going to be in the shape of a flying saucer, what they're going to look like, but these are obviously UFOs, unidentified flying objects, and that's how the Lord is going to come. And that's that war in heaven. It says, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So he said, I tried to look for the borders, the ends of this big flying vehicle, and I couldn't find it. That's how big it was. This thing is probably might be the size of the earth. We don't know how large it's going to be. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So all the kings of the earth are going to be scared, but they're going to have no choice but to fight Yahushua when he comes. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So he said he gonna breathe out, he gonna blow out fire, and it's gonna be powder. All right, give me that Habakkuk 3 and 16.
Grab a quick piece for going to and he's gonna disintegrate the flesh of these people through that fire coming out of the chariots, man. That's that sword out of his mouth in Revelation 2 and 16. Not talking about a literal sword.
Right.
So this is Isaiah chapter 64 from verse 1. It says, "Oh, that thou wouldest rent the heavens, okay, that thou wouldest come down, that the mountains might flow down at thy presence." So how in the hell could an actual mountain flow down from heavens? It's not talking about an actual mountain. It's symbolic. You see, he's talking about the chariot. All right. So Cause unlearned individuals read this and take it literal. But this is as scriptures are composed of allegories, metaphors and so forth.
It's poetic.
Kind. So Isaiah 64:2 says, as when the melting fire burneth, the fire causeth the waters to boil, to make thy name known to thy adversaries, that the nations may tremble at thy presence. So just like just like the heavenly, just like the heathen once referred to the Heavenly Father as Al-Shaddai, meaning demon-like power. Right? That's going into Psalm the 9th chapter.
Mm-hmm.
This is how he's going to further remind these nations of his terrible reputation and righteousness.
Right, Psalm 9:16.
God.
He's known by his judgments. And then it's crazy that it says that because it says he will come with the mountains and he will make the waters to boil.
God.
You know what Revelation 17:15, it tells you the waters is talking about people.
Be hot.
He said the water is talking about people.
God.
He said he gonna cook these niggas.
Yeah,
Man.
man.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's wild. Bro.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you want to be covered.
Yeah. That's why.
That's why we're
it's
here.
cold. Hey, because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna get you out there preaching that word.
And then on top. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in Isaiah 14:23 he speaks about the besom destruction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which lines up with Jeremiah 51:1 by the destroying wind,
Yeah.
thermonuclear fire radiation. The same wave of radiation and fire that destroyed Sarah Connor and that vision and Terminator 2.
Judgment.
Where did they get that from? They got it from
I was
this.
just
Right.
thinking
Yeah,
about
to come.
chapter 12, which says the wilderness where they run into. I was just thinking of Wales, and that's where they came from.
Hey, give me Habakkuk 3:16.
Okay.
Go ahead and read it. I got
Can I
it.
read this one?
Okay.
Okay, let's read that.
Yeah, let's go one more.
Sure.
Isaiah 64:3 says, when thou didst terrible things which we looked not for, thou camest down, the mountains flowed down at thy presence.
Fire right there. Okay, go ahead and bring that up. Habakkuk 3:16.
Habakkuk 3:16. When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself,
Yeah, can you read it?
that I might rest in the day of trouble. When it cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops.
He will invade them with his troops. All right, this is talking about once again the angels. All right, he will invade them with his troops. So see, this ain't nothing to play around with. This is the war in heaven that it's talking about. All right, now we're gonna keep moving on. Let's get Revelation 12:8 now. I'll go ahead and read that. All right, Revelation chapter 12 and verse 8. We'll get that next verse. We'll go to 11 and then we'll close out. All right. So it says, Revelation 12:8. It says, I'm gonna read 7 again. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. Okay, and why is that? Okay, because heaven represents rulership, a kingdom. So the kingdom of Esau, the kingdom of the Roman Empire, and all these heathen nations are going to be completely wiped out when the Lord comes. But also, their what's it called? Their military weaponry, their aerial fighters, and all that stuff is going to be completely wiped out as well. They're not going to even have the technology and the knowledge anymore to be able to fly planes and all that kind of stuff. All right. Now it says, verse 9. Okay, Revelation 12:9. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. All right. So now this also gives you understanding going all the way back to Genesis, because remember, all right, the dragon is talking about is not even talking about an actual dragon or serpent. It's talking about the Roman Empire. So through the reincarnation, all right, Esau, which is also Cain, are the sons of the wicked, just like we're the sons of the righteous. Esau was all the way back there in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. There was a man that deceived Eve. Because I'm talking about an actual talking serpent. So it's all allegory. It goes in people's heads because they don't understand the parables. But let me read that again. Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. It's talking about a nation of people, actually. All right, and he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay, and now I want to give a precept on that. So that word angels, get me Psalms 91, brother. Give me Psalms 91, and then I need Psalms 34:7. Okay, so what do angels represent? Angels represent protection. All right. So the angels of the beast system, or Esau, that were cast down and destroyed, that's talking about his gift, his spiritual blessing, which is his protection, the protection of the sword. Which, let me know when one of you brothers got that Psalms 91.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay, I'll pull it up right quick.
Okay,
Okay.
my bad.
No, you good, you good. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 91,
Okay.
and you give me Psalms 34 about what you're saying.
Come.
All right, Psalms 91 and verse 10 and 11. Okay, just to show you what angels really represent. All right, you go to that word angel. It can mean an actual angel, but could also mean a messenger or a prophet. All right, and you go into the blue letter definition of it. So this is Psalms 91 and 10. It says, "There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling." Verse 11, "For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways." So the angels represent that protection. Okay, and you got that Psalms 34?
Come.
Okay, we'll get Psalms 34 and 7.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 7. It says, "The angel of the Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them." You see? And that's why in 2 Ezra 5 and 1, in similar precepts, goes into how the vast majority of the world, including those in Revelation 13:3, whose name is written in the earth, will marvel at this beast system, are not going to be protected by the angels of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Shai, for the simple fact they don't fear him. Right? And that's why they indulge in our manners of madness and wickedness, like sodomy, you know what I'm saying, whoredom, okay, you know, in consuming unlawful foods, and you name it, man, everything that's unlawful, they indulge in. Why? Because that's why America, Babylon the Great, is the golden city, all right, symbolic of the place of prosperity that attracts all these other nations to come over here and you know, indulge in this wine and fornication, okay, of this horror, that Western philosophy. You know what I'm saying?
I want to make a quick point as well.
Mhm.
Okay, the Heavenly Father is spiritual.
All right.
All right, the Heavenly Father is spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
but Esau is a physical man.
Yeah.
Okay, it tells you that in the scriptures. So the same way that we, as the hopeful elect, all right, that we're looking to have that spiritual mark of exemption, the Tawah, all right, which that Tawah means mark of exemption, spoken of in Ezekiel 9 and 4.
That's right.
Okay, that's a spiritual mark.
All right.
Esau's mark of the beast is a physical mark that he's going to put into your hand or on your forehead, as it tells you in Revelation 13 and 16, right? It's the same thing with his angels, okay? We're looking for the protection of the spiritual, of the archangel Michael, you know, Yahweh Shai, the top angel, and then also, of course, you know, all the other angels that are going to be down here protecting the elect. Esau, his angels, because once again, angels goes into protection, all right? His angels are physical, okay? His angels is his sword, his blessing of advanced technology, which I'm going to get right quick.
Mm-hmm.
This is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38. "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me even also, O my father." He's talking to Isaac. All right. "And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered unto him and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth." So you're going to be rich, wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and the dew of heaven from above.
Mm-hmm.
"And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." But the main part is that it said, "And by thy sword shalt thou live."
That's right.
So Esau has conquered the world by the power of the sword. That was a blessing that was given to him
That's right.
through Isaac, all right, from the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Okay, and what does the sword represent? It's a killing instrument.
Yep.
So Esau has had the blessing of the sword, which represents killing instruments. He has advanced technology at killing. He's good at killing things. That's why he likes to hunt,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because that's his blessing.
That's
All
a
right.
blessing, right?
You know, and
It's
so
given to him in Genesis.
his advanced technology that he has, you know, he's got drones. He created his own destruction. Okay, the ICBM nuclear missiles. That's all Esau's creation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like he had the father of the nuclear bomb. They made a movie.
Lab,
Yeah, they made a movie about it.
Oppenheimer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, that Esau, Eisenhower was an Edomite.
Yeah.
So his own blessing is what's going to be what destroys him. But just the point being made that once again, everything that we're looking for is spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Why everything Esau is doing is physical. So his angels is talking about his angels, his protection is his advanced technology and all that, his weaponry. All that's going to be destroyed and cast down by the angel, the true angels. All right, which is the angels of Yahweh Shai, mark of the archangel, and the ones that are coming to protect the elect. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back on that art.
Yep.
Like just like J. Oppenheimer was known for that saying, I become the destroyer of worlds. All right, where does the vibration of that saying come from? It's Revelation 6:4. It says, "And there went out another horse that was red, because Esau's blood is translucent through his skin, all right?
Right.
Because he's really red and not white.
It tells you that it first came out red
Right.
and hairy all over.
Right. It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that's all he's been doing, all right? Because since the so-called independence from Britain, on behalf of America in 1776, there was been a war a little over 90% of the time, man.
Right.
Okay, so it says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So he's influenced. That's why Isaiah 25:7 speaks about, the throne of iniquity. Okay, the wicked covenant cast rather. The wicked covenant cast is the hammer of the earth, Babylon the Great. You see, that's what he's influenced other nations, all right, to indulge in his carnal way of living, all right, relying on the sword, like it says in Psalm 44 and so forth, you see. And this is why there's a recent article came out in the U.S. Sun entitled Robo War, China set to release killer robots into battle within 2 years. And I give you 2 years. They already have killer robots with flamethrowers mounted on top of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so these are the angels. So that sword, or that killing instrument the brother was going into, is a part of those angels, meaning messengers. All right, they're going to release upon the public, man. Okay, including drones, killer robots. All right, you name it, man. They're gonna open up the kitchen sink, so to say, on this world.
Right.
Why? Because the Wicked League got something called the Georgia Guidestones. All right, and that basically is the aspect of their agenda where they want to eliminate. What's that like? They want to like 500.
One third of the population.
Yeah.
So they want to kill off 1/3 of the world's population.
So the number was like 500,000. But then that it ended up getting destroyed a few years ago. Which we believe is by the angels. But either way, this devil and these other nations can release these angels amongst them upon each other and the public. Right. They want to limit. They want to depopulate this world because China is another World Economic Forum partner. So they're in on the New World Order agenda too, but they have a quarrel with Esau. Okay, that's because it's all prophetic.
But they're all in confederacy.
God,
At the end of the day, they're all in confederacy, and they all have taken on, part of that blessing that Esau had, which was the power of the sword. Advanced weaponry for killing. All right, and that's the reason why we're gonna need the protection of Yahweh and the angels, because without that, we're gonna be destroyed. It tells you that in Psalm the 91st chapter. It tells you that 1,000 shall fall at thy right hand, and 10,000 at thy left, but the plague shall not come nigh thee. Only because the angels, the true spiritual angels, are going to be protecting the elect. That's the only reason why.
That's why I
Which
say
you read about in Daniel 12:1.
I was going to line back on you. That's why I say Matthew 24 says, if the Lord Yahweh Shemashah was not to speed up these times, there would be any flesh to be saved.
If he did not shorten the times,
For the elect.
but they should be shortened for the sake of the elect.
That's right.
All right, I'm going to move on. Daniel chapter, Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10, and we'll get these last two verses and close out. Okay, it says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, all right, and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. That's how you also know that this war in heaven is talking about a future event, and not something that's already happened. Okay, because in Christianity, they tell you that there was a war in heaven, and Satan got kicked out of heaven, and he's down in hell now, which that's all crap, all right? This war in heaven is talking about a future event, and it's going into Esau trying to destroy the elect, Yahushua and the angels coming to protect the elect. That's what it's really talking about. All right. But it said that the accuser of our brethren was cast down, because once again, Esau is an accuser of our brethren, and Yahushua, when he comes, he's going to destroy him. Give me Isaiah 63, verses 1 through 8.
Isaiah 63, first verse. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dried garments from Basra?
With dyed garments from Basra. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Okay, why his garments, meaning his clothing, going to be dyed? It's going to be dyed in the blood of Esau. All right, we're going to keep reading. Right.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
Yep, and that's talking about Yahushua.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garment like him that treadeth in the wine fat?
Yep, keep reading.
I've trodden the winepress alone, and of the people that were none with me. For I would tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
Right. She said, their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain on my raiment. So his garments are dyed with the blood of Bozrah. And Bozrah is the chief city of Esau, Edom. Okay, keep reading. Read on down to verse 8.
Okay. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeeming is come.
Stop right there. All right, and we'll end it there. The day of vengeance is in mine heart, okay, and the year of my redeemed is come. So at the same time that the elect is going to be redeemed, the Lord's also going to exact vengeance on Esau and the heathen nations, okay, which is a key part of the gospel that you're never going to hear about in these churches, okay, because they're not going to tell you the 100% truth.
That's right.
When the Lord comes, he's coming to lay down these heathen nations, to exact vengeance on the devil of the earth, Esau, Edom, and he's going to redeem his people all at one time, okay? And it tells you exactly what it's going to be. He's going to smash out Esau, which are the ones that's ruling over the earth right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna get this last verse and we'll close out. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 11. So now you should have a good understanding of the war in heaven. It says, and they, meaning the elect, overcame him, which is talking about Esau, by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Okay? So how did they overcome? By the blood of the Lamb? Okay, well, because it tells you, all right, in Psalms chapter 17, verse 13, that Esau, the wicked, is the sword of the Lord. So you got to understand that. Why do you fear a devil? Why do you fear the powers of this world? All right, that the Heavenly Father controls him. He's their sword. Esau was created to punish wicked Israelites. So there's no reason to fear him. That's why it tells you in Hebrews, the 2nd chapter, it goes into that. It says that they were once in bondage by the fear of death, are now made free through Yahushua. Okay, because now we know through these scriptures, these prophecies, that the elect, the victory is already written. It's already recorded. All you have to do is follow through with the movie script. Okay, but once again, Esau is the sword of the Lord. Okay, so if you're covered by the blood of Yahushua, then the sword of the Lord, which is his wrath, all right, the instrument of his wrath, it's going to have no effect on you. Give me that Psalm 17 and 13.
This is Psalms chapter 17, verse 13. It says, Arise, O Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. Disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
He said, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So the wicked is the sword of the Lord. Okay? And get that verse 14. It's going to tell you, it's going to give you a clue to who the wicked is.
Psalm 17, 14, it says, From men which are thy hand, O Lord, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life.
Which have their portion in this life. All right? Any brothers in here, take their wallet out and pull out a dollar bill. Whose face is on the money?
Esau.
All right. Esau's face is on the money. Who's controlling your water, your light, your electricity? All right? Whether you have a job or not. It's Esau. All right? Because his portion, his rulership, and his kingdom, his heaven is in this life. Okay? And ours is in the next. But remember, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men, which are thy hand, who have their portion in this life. We just read it. All right? So if you're covered by the blood of Yahushua, okay, the sword of the Lord, which is Esau, all the killing instruments and technology that he has, it has no effect on you because you're protected by the angels, man.
Right.
All right? And I'm going to get a quick precept.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so, what was this? I was going to make a comment, but it slipped my mind.
Okay, it's all good.
Go ahead.
I got a quick precept real quick. I'm going to get, once again, if you're covered by the blood of Yahushua.
Oh, I know what I was going to say, Salakia. So the line back when the brother was saying, that's why Yahushua, that's why when the wicked, it was like the wicked scribes and Pharisees try to confound Yahushua about paying taxes, Yahushua cut him, confounded him by saying, okay, well, turn over that penny. Whose superscription is on the back of that penny? He said, well, Caesar's.
Right.
Okay, then Yahushua responded by saying, okay, well, then render it to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. You know, another precept that lines up with that is when Yahushua said, if this was my kingdom, my servants would fight.
Right.
So this further confirms it's not our portion of life right now because earth was given to the hands of the wicked, like it says in Job 9:24, which is that dragon. Okay, synonymous with serpent. All right, and a serpent, is the quality of a serpent is a conniver. You know what I'm saying? A deceiver. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Esau the devil. He came to steal and destroy.
I got a precept on that. Psalms chapter 55. You probably know where I'm going. Yep. This is a precept. He said a trick of the serpent or characteristic is to be conniving. Okay, this is Psalm chapter 55 and verse 11. Actually, hang on, no, Salakia. Verse 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, that's a characteristic of Esau. He's gonna speak good things to you, but then in his heart, he's really about to make war with you. All right, now I'm gonna get Romans chapter 5. Romans chapter 5, verse 9, it says, much more then, being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from wrath through him. So we're justified by the blood of Yahushua, that the sword of the Lord, his wrath, will have no effect on us. Lord's will be that number. And I got a few more scriptures.
Can I get this quick precept?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 3. It says, and say to the land of Israel, thus said the Lord, Yahweh by Shemashai, behold, I am against thee, and will draw forth my sword out of his sheath, and will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked. And that's what further confirms that Esau is a sword of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, on the left hand side, that he uses as a rod of punishment to the Israelites who do wickedly.
Right.
You know, that's why he allowed the oppression and around the civil rights movement to happen. You know, leashing, allowing Esau to sick dogs on us and whatnot, and which Esau obviously did against the Northern Kingdom. All right, matter of fact, Shalaki, real quick. That's why when you read this book here, The American Holocaust by David E. Stanier, it goes into that. You say, where Esau is the conquest of the New World, going to the so-called conquest of the New World, where the Spaniards, the Spanish Edomites, were sicking dogs. They would train these dogs to get used to so-called indigenous flesh. Okay, so where the dogs, those attack dogs, would only crave indigenous flesh in the Northern Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So, so that secular history, along with all the other similar accounts of secular history of our oppression and affliction, was permitted, okay, by the sword of the Lord on the left hand side, which is Esau, Edom, because the wickedness we committed against the Lord, and that's going to continue, up into Jacob's trouble. Man.
I got one last precept I want you to get real quick.
Come on.
I'm going to read this again, and this will be the closeout. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 11. And this is how you're going to overcome all this stuff that's coming. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. We read how that is. And by the word of their testimony. All right, let me get that right quick. Romans 10 and 10. All right, it says, for with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. So you being out there on the highways and byways, preaching this word, getting involved with the ministry, all right, this literally is a part of your salvation. Okay? I'll read that one more time. Romans 10 and 10. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, all right? And with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. So you got to go out there and speak the words of the Lord. Okay, so they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. So they loved not their lives unto the death. I'm going to get two scriptures on that, and I'll have you close out Revelation. Okay, they loved not their lives unto the death. This is James 1 and 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Okay, Sirach 4 and 28. Strive for the truth until death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. And get that Revelation 2 and 10, and we'll close out.
This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. It reads, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
That's it. So be thou faithful to death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay, so that's how you're going to overcome the Lamb. Overcome Esau, right, the sword of the Lord, and make it through the war in heaven, so to speak.
Can I bring up the last quick precept?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Isaiah 27 and 1. All right, going to the devil being, being a serpent. All right, let him be destroyed. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 27. Isaiah chapter 27, verse 1. In the NLT, it says, in that day the Lord, Yahweh by Shemashah, will take his terrible swift sword and punish Leviathan, the swiftly moving serpent, the coiling, writhing serpent. He will kill the dragon of the sea. Now, we know Leviathan, okay, is a sea creature that Esau referred to in his Hollywood movies as Godzilla. That's an actual creature that exists, okay, and there's more than one of them. So, but it's not talking about the actual creature Leviathan. It's further symbolism of this serpent, this crooked serpent. Okay, Esau Edom, himself by white man, that conniving, subtle, demonic serpent. Okay, who is covetous, lascivious. Okay, to the point where he's developed a scarcity mindset. That's why he has his hand in all these prophecy words and whatnot to covet the world's substances. Going into Psalm 7:14. Okay, well, this is like Psalm 17 and 14. Those brought up. Yeah. So that's why he's gonna have to cough up all of these goods and so forth that he has stolen. Okay, like it says in Sirach 10 and 8, I believe it is, it says, "For riches gone by deceit, the king shall be translated to another." Man.
Right. Which is going to be Jacob.
Con.
And, Lord's will would be that remnant, that elect, that the kingdom is transferred over to. Okay, but anyways, hopefully that gave you a better understanding of what it really means when it goes into the war in heaven. Just a quick summary. All right, it's talking about the true war in heaven is talking about Yahweh Shai, all right, the archangel Michael, and the rest of the angels making war with the beast. All right, which is today it's America, NATO, and the EU. All right, and then all the conglomerate of nations around the world, the kings of the earth, they're going to try to join up forces to go against Yahweh Shai when he comes. That's what it's really talking about. That's the war in heaven.
That's right.
Okay, and we read on how to escape that. Okay, you're going to overcome by the blood of the Lamb, your testimony, all right, and loving not your lives unto the death. I mean, you have to be willing to give up anything and everything for this truth, and that's what it's going to come down to. All right. So, Lord's will is edifying. With that being said, as always, we want to give all praise, our honor, and our glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. All right, and double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Once again, as always, peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Aki who keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right, shalom, and abide with ball.
Shalom.
Shalom.